My name is Peter Shinkoda. I'm just a lowly mere actor. I appeared on Falling Skies for 2 seasons. I'm continuing with my career, working on a few things that I can't really discuss. I've been in a lot of these sci-fi movies, right? So I have some knowledge. I get to read a lot of these great scripts by these great Hollywood writers that are based on great you know the sci-fi writers like Philip Dick and Isaac Asimov. So I get I'm kind of familiar with that stuff, but as far as things like let's say iRobot and sentient robots and intelligence, of course that's coming. It's coming. It's already here. Honda built whatever Asimo, the robot that dances and break dances. It's all coming.
You think they're going to put an RFID chip in people soon?
Well, they already got the little contraception thing in the girl's arm. It's just an extension of that. Something little microchip that either secretes, bleeds out like battery acid or some kind of hormone. That's happening all the time. It's so easy. Um, Nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is it's just another. The people, the medical community claims, yeah, it's for clinical purposes and stuff, but you can use it for all kinds of military purposes too. I mean, everything kind of goes hand in hand. But as far as like the progress of technology, it's a curse and it's a blessing. I think that a lot of the things that are alluded to, and like the collapse of civilization, especially in a lot of these apocalyptic movies, even things like 1984,
iRobot.
iRobot, Handmaid's Tale, whatever, Logan's Run, the Island. There's a lot of movies that that comment on the future. Um, I think a lot of these ones, especially the ones that I remarked on, or just brought up or cited, they're more accurate than people think. The whole Judgment Day, the whole Terminator, James Cameron's on the right path when he's talking about the Cyberdyne systems and Skynet. It's absolutely going that way. I think the first actual physical drone that we saw in a movie was in Terminator 3 when Nick Stahl and Claire Danes are running and this little drone comes up, starts following through the facility. That's what drones are. That one's just the Harrier version. It hovers, right? So that's exactly what James Cameron was touching upon when he wrote the original Terminator. The way the media rolls out information is, you got to take it with a grain of salt. As far as I'm concerned, anything that you see on TV, whether it's a narrative TV show or movie or whether it's news, it's there's always elements and level of propaganda in it. You can't believe it's a type of brainwashing. But as far as the Boston bombing is concerned, okay, that had a lot of that gripped the nation, the world for a good week, maybe 2 weeks until the Jodi Arias verdict came out and excuse me, the three abducted girls that were freed. But it would grip the nation. A lot of it was sensational coverage. All of it was inconsistent. Okay, nothing corroborated each other. Everybody's trying to get the scoop on each other, all these different agencies. So you don't know really who's telling the truth. But I'll tell you one thing. I was watching in real time the night that they had they took down the two suspects, the two perps, right? And they shot the Tamerlan, they somehow they captured him. I was watching that in real time at 2 in the morning on CNN as the coverage was unfolding. So they had no time to edit the footage that they were getting. So they were literally broadcasting and streaming live footage from the firefight, pretty much in real time. I imagine maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes of a delay from the real events that were happening. I saw for myself, and I've seen the clips on CNN live right now from outside Boston, that town that they're in. They were escorting that naked man that looked to me exactly like Tamerlan into a squad car, and I said, "Wow, they arrested him." Well, they got him, and the other one ran, the younger brother. The next day, when I woke up, and I had a couple beers, I was with my friend, to be honest. The next day, I asked him, I questioned him, because the news You know, he kept rolling out, and I said, "Were we mistaken? Weren't you beside me? Did we not witness this naked guy that looks exactly like Tamerlan being escorted into a car, stripped down?" And we had remarked on it, going, "Wow, they took him because he might have been wearing explosive devices, and whatnot. You know, concealing weapons in his clothes." So we thought that was, the right procedure, but there was no evidence of that for the next 3 days. And I kept asking him, going, "Didn't we see him get arrested? Didn't we see him get arrested?" But the news is saying that they subdued him. We're in the process of handcuffing him. But in the end, they said he perished. He died because they were handcuffing him, and then his younger brother had barreled down on him and then ran him over, and the cops jumped out of the way right in time. So why would they be handcuffing him? He's already shot. If they were trying to subdue him, they needed a bunch of guys, and the car was barreling down, and you all jumped clear except him. You think he'd be holding on to something, or one guy might have got clear? I mean, it's just too clean. And what a what do you call it? Convenient story saying that he got run over. I never heard of like two escapees running, and then one of them runs over the other person, especially their older brother. It's just a very strange story, and from what I had seen and how the events unfolded, I have questions because of that massive discrepancy, and a lot of people had been remarking on it and scrutinizing what exactly happened during that takedown. And I know for a fact that they were broadcasting some a naked fellow, and they're putting him in the squad car, and eyewitness accounts have corroborated the fact that he was taken down and subdued, and actually in constraints. He was handcuffed, but next day they were in the process of handcuffing him, and then he was run over, and then the whole autopsy thing, not releasing his body and whatnot, and we saw that he was shot multiple times. He had lacerations if you had seen those images. So I'm thinking, how did this all happen? There's a lot of questionable stuff, at least in the sense of its coverage. In no way am I alluding to government, kind of conspiracies. I'm just saying it's very confusing. I'm saying that nothing was consistent in its reporting. So to me, I'm just re-emphasizing the fact that nothing can be trusted. Just because it's some pixelated images in front of you with some sound doesn't mean it's fact. I think people should always be wary of that, what they're consuming, and what they hold is the truth or is fiction. Yeah, there was some strange things in the sense that this party that I walked into was very synonymous to things we may have seen in Eyes Wide Shut. So it was there was a party that I went to maybe in the mid-late 90s, and I walked into it not knowing much about it. It was in Sherman Oaks, actually, in one of these mansions facing the valley on the hill. And I walked in there. It was maybe a couple hours after midnight, and through some of my friends that I was with, somebody had privy to this one secret party, and I ended up going there with maybe a handful of friends, and just like on it's like you hear about these mythical Hollywood parties. It turned out to be one of those. It was a big party, and it was definitely sex themed, and there was couples around, and it was definitely a swinging party. And I went to one of those, and no matter how much you prepare yourself, and no matter how much experience and knowledge you have, what goes on when you see it viscerally in front of you in real time, kind of threw me. So I stayed there for maybe a couple hours with friends. I didn't really participate in anything other than just walking around being, the voyeur that I am. I'm such a creep. But it turned out to be, an innocent swinger party. To me, I didn't see anything that was...
Were they wearing masks?
Yeah, there were some people wearing masks. Some people weren't.
Like Eyes Wide Shut?
Perhaps, yeah. Some people were wearing like masquerade feathered masks. But I don't think it was, some prerequisite for the party. And I certainly didn't see any kind of paganistic, ritualistic stuff that goes on in every sorority and fraternity during Hell Weekend, Frosh Weekend, whatever, Pledge Weekend across the United States. I think that people are very much in tune and interface, almost live on the computer monitor screens, and a lot of their interaction with the outside world, more so than ever, is through their computer. It's very deceiving, and I'd like to remind people that just that everything that you see on the computer, just remember that it's just a screen with some noise coming out, some register certain ideas. They're never necessarily true. As an actor, I'm involved in a lot of projects, and I portray these roles. But again, I'm working in a collaborative process of hundreds and hundreds of people. I'm certainly not making the decisions. So, whatever however you interpret these shows that I work in, it's not really the true representation of who I am, or collectively who Asian guys are. So, having said that, you must be very conscientious that when you even watch the news that is supposedly true, you always have to be wary. Always keep in the back of your mind that all it is a bunch of ideas coming through this screen. It's not, from your experience, it's just words. Anything can be said. Be very conscientious about what you believe, because there's a lot of information coming at people these days. None of it's accurate. None of it is accurate. So whether it's a narrative TV show, in the form of entertainment, or whether it's a news gathering service, whatever's put in front of you, know that you can't just trust it. You have to scrutinize things, and always stay true to your heart. If you question things, know that there could be a more fact-based truth out there, as opposed to whatever they're feeding you.